First off, I just want to say that this video is not meant to be political in any way. I'm not making a political stance or supporting one person or another. This video is to simply encourage Christians to think more biblically and test the things they hear or the things they come across even when they appear to be Christian. On April 15th, during a worship service at the Pentagon, Defense Secretary Peter Hegseth led the congregation there in a prayer. Now, whether or not you feel the Pentagon should be hosting prayer and worship services is a whole other issue. And many of you are probably sitting there thinking about how much you hate this guy and hope I trash him. And on the other hand, some of you are thinking about how much you love this guy and hoping I completely validate him. And I'm afraid, to some degree, I'm going to disappoint both camps, but hear me out. As much as part of me loves what is happening at the Pentagon, from a believer's perspective, seeing prayer, seeing worship, I ultimately understand why this would frustrate and concern people who aren't Christian. And I totally respect that people feel like it's an infraction on church and state, even if secretly I kind of love it. But I get why it's problematic. Anyway, so Peter Hegseth has already commanded some controversies over his time as defense secretary, from his tattoos including the Jerusalem cross and words Deus Vult that translates God wills it, which is a battle cry used during the First Crusade, to his overall just aggressive demeanor. With the tensions and conflict in the Middle East, I can understand the objections people have with him. All this just to say that he really has already become a really controversial figure. So during the service on April 15th, he would eventually share a prayer. This was a little over a week after the second of two downed pilots of an F-15E Strike Eagle was rescued out of Iran. And Hegseth wanted to share a prayer that was given to him from Sandy One, who, from my understanding, was the head of the rescue mission that saved that pilot. So this prayer is titled CSAR 2517. CSAR meaning Combat Search and Rescue. And the 2517 meant to reference Ezekiel 25:17, which reads, "I will execute great vengeance on them with furious rebukes, and they shall know that I am the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon them." So in his defense, this was never meant to be a verbatim Bible verse itself, but a prayer that was actually given to him by someone else. But here's where it gets a little weird. It didn't take too long for the internet to realize the prayer he recited that night was eerily similar to Samuel L. Jackson's monologue in the Quentin Tarantino film Pulp Fiction. The monologue in the movie is also supposed to be loosely based on Ezekiel 25:17.
The path of the downed aviator is beset on all sides.
The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides
by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men.
It's by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men.
Blessed is he who in the name of camaraderie and duty shepherd the lost through the valley of darkness.
Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness.
For he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children.
For he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children.
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance.
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance
and furious anger.
And furious anger.
Those who attempt
to
capture and destroy my brother.
To poison and destroy my brother.
And you will know my call sign is Sandy One, when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
It's safe to say it is a little freaky and uncanny to see how close the prayer is to the monologue from Pulp Fiction. But I'll admit, though, it's not exactly word for word. There are several words along the way that are substituted out. So it's not like Hegseth completely quoted Jackson's character in the movie. So why does this matter? It matters because Hegseth has a platform and a reputation, mostly not a good one, and he has now further damaged the credibility of not just the administration he's part of, but Christianity as a collective. Can you damage the gospel? Ultimately, no, because the gospel itself is just the good news of Jesus Christ, and it is what it is no matter the vessel that brings it. But what you can do is hurt your ability to present it. That's why the Bible urges us to live a certain way and to test things a certain way. No matter if it's him or anyone who claims the name Christian while holding any kind of platform, Hegseth adopted this prayer and likely assumed it was mostly based on scripture, but the reality is that it mirrors the movie quote more than it mirrors scripture. Ultimately, we have a burden to understand and test the things that we put out and say, especially through a public platform, because we have a responsibility to those who are being influenced by us. It goes to show how easy it can be to just accept and parrot things we're told and to take them as one thing and not understand that they are something else entirely because we failed to test it.